OnShape is a CAD tool that allows you to design parts for your use. It's really cool that it is actually a cloud-based CAD tool, which means even if your computer has very low specs, you can still do design. I've done design while traveling on even my phone, but that's a different video for a different time. So there are pros and cons to it. If you do a free version of OnShape at this particular point in time, then you have no privacy. All your files are public and anybody can see your designs. Okay, so that's very different from how Fusion works. Also, everything's stored in the cloud versus locally. A deeper dive into all the pros and cons is probably its own video, but just to give you a quick overview. But it's a powerful tool. It works very well, and it works especially well if you have a computer that doesn't have a lot of computing resources. So we're going to go ahead and get into doing a very simple design of a part, and my point behind this is even the most basic tools, you can design a useful part that can easily improve the usefulness of your 3D printer. Or if you don't have a 3D printer, you should consider getting a 3D printer, because even with the most basic skills and a quick tutorial, you can learn how to make a part that is useful. We're in the basic dashboard. We're just going to click Create Document, and I'm going to call this one Whiteboard Clip. All right, here's our whiteboard clip, and we'll start on the right, and we're going to create a sketch. We're going to select the sketch plane as the right plane. Starting here, we're going to make a shape. You'll notice that I'm selecting horizontal and perpendicular positions. So if the angle is like this, that's the horizontal and perpendicular. All right, and those are in line. We're going to now select dimension, or D, and we're going to drop in some dimensions. Let's see here, we'll make this guy 12. From here to here, 5. 7, and then 4. All right. We now have our dimensions on our clip. We're going to extrude. It takes 2D geometry and it stretches it into a 3D object. And we're going to make it symmetric. And just checking my notes, 14 millimeters is the answer. All right, so now we have a simple basic shape. This is going to be a whiteboard clip, and I'll link to the video in which I actually use this part to make a whiteboard fairly cheaply. So we're going to create another sketch. We're going to put it on this face, and this time we're going to hit U for use. We're going to bring that forward. Then we're going to change to a 3-point circle and select our points. Now I have a dot in the center of that, so we're going to change to a center point circle. We're going to drop 2 of those. Go back into our sketch, dimension 5.5, and 9.3 should do it. All right, we're going to extrude. But this time, instead of stretching the part, we're going to use remove, and that's going to punch a hole all the way through our part. I want to make that sketch automatically has become invisible, so we want to make that sketch visible again. So we're going to click here, turn it back to visible, do another extrude on this. This is a feature that Fusion, SolidWorks, and others also have, which is you can create multiple features from a single sketch, and so it's just a little bit more efficient to, instead of designing 2 sketches, design a single sketch and then grab different elements to create different features from it. All right, for this extrude I picked the depth of it so that it would only cut down so far. Now that we're finished with it, we can hide the sketch, and here's our basic clip. We're going to put a screw in here. That's going to screw it to the wall. The whiteboard is going to rest on here and be captured by this feature. But we want to add a few other little details. So for example, we want a chamfer. The reason for this is I'm going to use a conical head screw, and I'm just looking to see if I happen to have one. And of course I don't. Awesome. Convenient. The issue is if you have a conical head screw, depending on your print orientation, as you tighten that into a 3D print, it can cause the layers to split. Now, I intend to print it on its face, so the layers will be in this orientation, and that means that it won't be susceptible to that splitting. So using a conical screw in this application, because of my print orientation and how I'm planning on using it, doesn't create a problem. But to make sure that there are no issues, I'm also adding a chamfer so that that screw rests on that face instead of having a triangle resting on a ledge, which would still cause it to force out a little bit. So it'll reduce the force that the part experiences and make it behave just a little bit better. So we're going to throw a chamfer on there. That's why that's there. And then we want to chamfer most of the rest of our part. But I want like a 1mm chamfer. So we're going to select all the edges we want. And that's a chamfer. Okay, so once again, this part will print like this. So the chamfer, you always want the chamfer touching the build plate. On that side, those things should be chamfered and not filleted. Otherwise, if you haven't seen my other videos or other videos on the topic, you can have issues where you have overhang problems by having too much of a curve on that side where the layers are building up. It's fine on the top, it's fine on the corners, but on this face, it causes problems when you're printing because this is going to be the build plate. You could do curves here, but just to make it match, I just did chamfers around all the corners to make it consistent. And here's our part. This part is ready to print as it is. So I'm going to go in here and I'm actually going to right click and rename to clip. And then if you want to export this part as into a STL or a step, that's a separate video in and of itself, which you should choose. Short answer is step, but I'll explain that in another video. Go in here and you're going to hit export. You can select your format. If you're trying to do an STL, you do this. You can change the file name to whatever you want. And then you have options for changing the resolution. On STL, this really matters. So we're going to leave it at medium, hit export. Going to go back in, export. Once again, delete that. And we're going to change our format. Where did y-axis up? To step. Notice that there's no resolution choice for step. And again, I'm going to explain that in a separate video. And export. So that's as simple as it is to make a functional part. And we're downloaded. That's as simple as it is to make a functional part. I went online, I created something in this web browser, exported it, downloaded it, and now I'm ready to print. For the sake of clarity, I've imported it into the Bamboo Labs Bamboo Studio, and we're going to flip it onto its face, slice the plate, and now you can see how it's intended to slice. This should be the face that's down. Oh, there we go. That's going to be a little less confusing. This will be the face that's down, and then you can watch as it grows, steps through. I might play with the number of walls or what have you to get exactly the feature that I want, but that'll print really well, and you can print a whole batch of them and then use it to hold up a whiteboard or what have you. So with very minimal understanding and CAD skills, you are able to create a useful functional part that can do the thing that you need. Click print and then go do something else while it's being produced by your printer. So this is why I really believe that printers are a valuable tool for DIY woodworking shops and makers in general. Hopefully this helps, giving you a quick overview and introduction into OnShape, how simple it is to use, how quickly you can get up and running, build a part online with very minimal resources on your computer side. I'm going to go a little bit deeper into OnShape, do some remixes and things like that as well to show the kind of the differences between OnShape and Fusion. For a lot of things, I do prefer Fusion because I don't necessarily want all of my work and files and everything public. So with the Fusion free version, you have private parts, but you have a limited number of parts that you can keep in your library. So by showing you both, it gives you an opportunity to understand the pros and cons of each and use them as you see fit. I really encourage you to not be locked into a single tool, because at any point in time, any of these companies might choose to change their free versions, and then all of your skills and development and understanding of that tool is locked behind a paywall. And if you want to pay that, no problem, but if not, so I like to diversify my CAD tools. So if you found this useful, please subscribe so you can see more of these videos as they come up. Of course, we'll be doing more remixes and more Fusion videos in the future, as well as DIY and maker style projects. Thank you for your time. I hope you found it useful.
Yep. Started and on that one.
Today, we're making a super cheap DIY whiteboard. So now that we've got these up, we've got ledges. Here you are. I don't know if I'm gonna like it.
I like it.
Yeah, I bet you are.